Hey everybody, it's TumescentPie, and I want to bring you a couple of replays. I want to show you a build order. It's a TvZ build order that was stint. Oh man, I can't even talk. It was sent to me by one of my viewers, one of my followers, StaysMurkin. He's a subscriber on my channel, on my live stream. He does stream, so I think he streams anyway. He has a Twitch thing with a like cool profile and stuff. So I would assume that he streams. I'll put all that link stuff down below in the comments down here on the YouTubes or wherever else you're seeing this video. Hopefully it's got all of that information. So anyway, so I'll go ahead and link him down below. I know that you can see my watermark. It's just because it's an artifact from my live stream. It's what I do. I live stream. I don't do these types of videos typically. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try to do that. So anyway, without too much ado, I do want to talk a little bit about the what's going to happen in these replays. So it's going to be a mech style versus Zerg, where we're going to start off with some Reapers. We're going to do some Hellion stuff. We're going to move into Banshee, and then eventually we're going to have a big Thor Hellbat tank army. It'll be Thor's, Hellbat's tanks, and some Banshees mixed in, and we're going to go kill the Zerg because we're Terran, and that's what we do. All right, so if you sat through this intro, the game should magically appear. Alright guys, here we are inside of the game. Now, as I was saying before, this was a replay sent to us by StaysMurkin, so I went to his stream and I grabbed his logo to toss over his in-game name, just so that it makes it less easy for people to see what his actual name is. And I know I'm going to mouse over and you're going to see it. But anyway, the point is that we're going to start with a depot, into a barracks, and then into a refinery. So those are the first three steps, really easy. Brings me back to the Wings of Liberty days where we're just like, barracks, refinery, get stuff. Alright, so after we're going to get this barracks, or after we're done getting this barracks, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually expand. So we'll just speed into that part. Make sure we saturate our gas, it's very important. And while we're getting this, we're going to get our Reaper up. Now, the Reapers are going to be very important to allow us to just kind of control some space, have some map presence, let the Zerg know that we're alive and not AFK. We're also going to make sure that we close off our walls. Walls are super important in the TvZ matchup, just because of all the things that happen. Whoa, don't want to take control, just want to slow down the replay a little bit here. I'm actually going to pause it for a second because we're also missing this refinery. So we're gonna stop and pause real quick, and we're gonna talk about the build order real quick, because we're gonna start to move outside of the basic stuff. So we're gonna go depot, barracks, refinery, command center, finish the wall, get our other refinery, and the meantime, this barracks is gonna constantly produce Reapers. We're going to get our factory up as well. As soon as we have the 100 gas, we really just need our factory. So we have both of our Reapers with our first 100 gas, and our next 100 gas is going to go directly to our factory. We're going to get all of our gas, and we're going to go poke around with this Reaper. Now, the Reaper is only really there to poke around and kind of let the Zerg know that we're alive. We're not trying to do a ton of damage here. We're not trying to get anything crazy going on. And I'm not even going to watch him because he's just going to go in and he's going to poke the Zerg. What I want to do is I watch back home, because what's going to happen here is that we're going to lift this off as soon as we're done playing around up there. We're going to lift this off and we're going to make a reactor. So we're going to want to put a reactor on this barracks. See the barracks sitting empty, not doing anything. The sooner that we get this reactor up, the closer these things will be able to build our things. Now, this is a diamond level game, so everything's not going to be super crisp. We're not looking at pro level games, and I think that those types of mistakes that are in the game are kind of important to look at, strictly just because we're all going to make mistakes in the game, and we don't have to play the very best in order to win games. We just have to play better than our opponent. So just want to make that clear that you don't have to be a super pro. Everything doesn't have to be super tight, but the tighter that you get your build together, the better it's going to be for you, not for your opponent. I was going to say for everyone involved, but it's really not better for everybody involved. It's going to be terrible for your opponent. Anyway, so after we have the next 400 minerals, we're going to build our third in base. Notice the Reapers are still alive. They're actually coming back here to deal with this drone that just kind of sat here for forever. Alright, so now we're going to move over and we're going to grab our starport at the same time that we're trying to put our reactor factory together. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a bunch of Hellions out of this. And the barracks, now the barracks' new job is building add-ons. This first add-on that's going to build is just a tech lab. We're going to build a tech lab for our starport so we can start making Banshees. The idea is that we want to have 2 Reapers and about 6 Hellions before we start really getting aggressive over here. We want to be able to get aggressive. Now, this isn't really aggression as much as it's just kind of a little poke. We just want to say hi. Oh my god, there's speedlings. We need to run away. And that's kind of what's happening. There's not very many speedlings, so we're able to just kind of play around with them a little bit. A little frolic through the fields. But we're not trying to get in there and like continue to mess with them. We just wanted to say hi. Just wanted to say hello. We're still here. Do you have a giant army? Is it coming to my base? Those are the types of things that we're looking out for. All right, so now we're done here. We've got all of our Hellions on the way. Here's the next set of Hellions coming up, and then we also have our orbital command going. It's very important to get orbital commands. They pay for themselves way quicker if you are able to call down mules. So here we are on the edge of creep. Notice we're not standing on the creep. We're not poking around too much. Just again, a little move forward, losing a Hellion and moving back. That's it. Just say hello. Again, hello. Are you coming? Are you coming? No? Okay, we're going to be way over here if you are. So if you are coming, we'd know that and we'd be able to pull even farther back. But looks like you're not coming. So we'll just wait for our Banshee and 2 more Hellions. And then we'll be able to push up and do some stuff. During this, and let me back up just a little bit here because that's the thing I keep missing. Where was that timing? I knew I was looking for something. When I was pausing earlier, I was looking around for it. Here's the armory. I should be watching the build order tab up here a little bit better. But there is an armory going down around the time that we're getting Cloak and the Banshee. So we do want to throw our armory down right around that timing. And the reason why is so that we can make those Hellbats. So that'll give us the ability to make Hellbats right at the time that the Banshee's finishing. Notice the Banshee takes 43 seconds to build and the armory takes 46 seconds. So if we build both of those at very, very close times, then right as the Banshee's getting done, our armory will be done as well, which means that our Hellions will become Hellbats. So you want to time those so that those two are hand in hand. That is kind of important. Also, since our army is all the way up here, we can take our third. We know that if his army isn't engaged with our army, and our army is on the halfway point or a little bit closer to his side of the map, then we know that he can't be doing anything to our third. All right, now that we have our ability to make Hellbats, we have our Banshee. Everybody's good. We're going to make up some Hellbats, and we're going to go try to deny his third. Now, this Zerg doesn't have a huge army, so we're going to be able to get over here and just kind of mess with it. The Banshee's going to do some work. Queen falls, so now he only has 1 queen. I'm a little surprised that he didn't cloak this, but he didn't give away cloak, and that's, I think that's probably relevant depending on the player. Some players are just going to make Spore Crawlers. Some players are going to make Overseers. So if they see Cloak, they're more likely to make Overseers. This guy has now seen Cloak, as there were a lot of queens, and we wanted to keep the Banshee alive. So now the third's been denied. Mission accomplished, and we can walk away. We're not going to go try to push in. We're not going to try to do any more damage. We've already denied the third. We've got a bunch of Hellions. And we're adding on our factories. We can add on 4 factories at this point. So during the aggression, we added on 2. And then after the aggression, we're adding on 2 more. We're also able to take our gold base. Now, I do disagree with what he's doing here. Unless something changed in Legacy of the Void that I'm unaware of, mules don't gather more on gold bases. Now, maybe that's changed, and I'm the one who's out of the loop. But I would recommend dropping our mules on blue bases. That way we don't just mine out our gold faster. So now that we've got our base all together, we're adding on our armory and our engineering bay. Now, if we do spy mutas earlier, we are going to want to toss our engineering bay out a little bit earlier but since we didn't, we're fine on getting our engineering bay a little late, especially after we've shown our opponent an army that does not shoot up. So we have a bunch of Banshees, we have a bunch of Hellbats, and we had some Reapers, which means that we have an army that cannot shoot air units. So if he did make some mutas as a response, we don't have anything to kill them. But we are making Thors, so eventually our army will be able to kill them. Our mineral lines will not be able to handle it, though. We're also going to continue to get our upgrades as soon as we have the gas and the income for that. We should be doing that, but we also have a lot of Thors and tanks and stuff to be making. So now with our tech labs, we want to have 3 tech labs on factories and 2 reactors on factories. So we'll have 5 factories altogether. This is going to allow us to make a lot of Thors and Hellbats. If they do go muta heavy, we're probably going to want to change that ratio. What we do see is our 4th going down at this point in the game. Since we're making this giant army, what we want to do is we want to keep making a giant army, and we want to just keep expanding. So we're going to make our 4th, and then as soon as our 4th is done, we're going to want to make our 5th. So let's speed up a little bit because, oops, I totally forgot to add the names to it. I just wanted to look at, it's easier to see supply. Actually, it's harder for you to see supply. You'll see that the Zerg supply is only 129. Whatever. I don't know. I'm a big screw up, guys. I'm a giant screw up. That's kind of what I do. I am the worst, and that's okay. Being the worst is fine. One day I won't be the worst. Maybe. So anyway, big push comes up, kills the Zerg, and that's kind of what we're looking for. Just a big push. Notice we do have our 5th base and a 6th going on. Since we're so far ahead, we're just going to continue to get farther and farther ahead. We have a huge bank, and we're going to be able to continue to use that bank. Now, this is a fun thing that a lot of us do. You'll see Nathanius do it. You'll see me do it. You'll see a lot of us do this after the fact. Just kill all their stuff. I mean, you have this giant army. Might as well kill some stuff, man. All right, we're gonna move into game 2. All right, guys, here we are for game 2. Like I said before, we're gonna start off with a depot into barracks, and then as soon as that barracks is done, we're gonna grab the gas. One of the things I didn't really talk about in game 1 was the gas timings around the 2nd and the 3rd base. So let's try to make sure that we focus on those a little bit more, because the early gas timings are pretty easy. Just, you get them as seen earlier, but we want to make sure that we're telling you when everything is coming up. And again, if you're just jumping around in the video, kind of jumping into game 2 or whatever, the SM over the name is because this is from a streamer named StaysMurkin. Definitely a really cool guy. He's trying to help me out on my live stream, which is very dangerous, by the way. If you come over to my live stream and you try to help me out, sometimes bad things happen to the people who are just like, "Hey, Tooms, you lost to this Zerg. Maybe instead of saying Zerg's overpowered, maybe you change this and this." No, that's a quick way to get banned in my live stream. I'm a terrible person. I just don't take feedback. Anyway, so here we are in the expansion part of this. We're taking our expansion. We're finishing our wall off, which means that we've gotten our gas. So we've gotten. We're going through this again with depot, racks, expansion. Oh, I'm sorry. Depot, racks, refinery, expansion, refinery, depot. Yeah. Pretty quick, pretty easy, super easy to do. We're gonna make Reapers and Reapers and Reapers. This Reaper is gonna catch on the first scout. I think that the Overlord gave us away, but I'm not sure. But he catches on the first scout anyway. Regardless, he catches on first scout, which is pretty sweet. Getting in here, we're just poking around. Again, we want to add on our factory. We've got a ton of gas, so this is a problem that happens with a lot of us Terrans, especially me. I do this a lot too. Instead of adding on the things that we need to add on, like our factory and getting our reactor up, a lot of times we spend a lot of time just like kind of dicking around, punching people in the face a little bit. Killing a worker, that's cool. Killing workers is fun, but if it throws off our build, it's probably less good for us. Now we're getting our 3rd up because we got our factory going, so we're putting up our 3rd. Again, in base, we're doing that very safe. We haven't taken our gases yet, so we're still waiting on gas down here at the natural. And I think part of that is just that we we still are kind of in that mode of we need to be able to pick this up. We're not really adding a lot of workers here yet, so being able to move that over and grab gas isn't super important yet. Now we're doing the do-si-do, crashing the buildings into each other. Good thing they no clip. Got our starport and our tech lab coming up. We're gonna start building Hellions pretty soon. Gonna move our Reapers around again. Just go show the Zerg that we're alive. They'll shortly be joined with their Hellions whenever these guys get done. The Hellions are a little bit late this time, so we're gonna be a little bit later. We've got the tech lab done, so we're just gonna move that off of there, so we can start making our Banshees without any delay. Do have the Reapers doing some damage up here. He hasn't challenged the Reapers, so might as well do some damage. I probably would have separated the two, but that way you get a little bit of vision and can keep one alive, and that's mostly just because I'm really bad at control. So if like a bunch of speedlings came down the ramp, I probably wouldn't notice until one of them was under attack, because I'd be back here like swapping all my stuff around and doing all that stuff. We are getting our second gas as we start the Banshee. We should also be getting our armory right around now as well. But like I said, we're dealing with these Reapers a little bit. I would have, if in this situation, I'd probably want to, and I don't know if I'd do it or not, but like I said, if I had my druthers, what I would do is I'd probably put one Reaper here and then one Reaper way over here, so that it can, so that if something comes down and hits the first Reaper, maybe I can save the second one. But I think Murkin's a little bit better player than I am. He might actually be able to save one. Yeah. Oh, look at that! He's saving it. He's saving it. Okay, now the Hellions are here. See, he saved them. I wouldn't even have seen that. Curiously missing is the armory right now. So we're a little bit off on the build. Like I said, these are diamond games, so the build's going to be a little bit sloppy sometimes. But he is still getting it up. The strategy is still to do all of these things. Sometimes the ordering is going to just be a little bit messy. So anyway, so we do have our Banshee coming up. We do have our armory coming up, and we have more Hellions on the way. So we have our 3 bases. We're going to be taking our second gas right after our first gas. Let me actually double check on that timing. I did say that I was going to be a little bit nicer around those. So let's go back about a minute. I think that did both the gases. Oh, actually both gases go down at the same time. I just didn't notice. I'm dumb. I'm really dumb, guys. Super dumb. I'm really sorry about being dumb. I'm trying to be smart, and it's going to take a lot of practice. Some of us are naturally smart. Some of us are learned smarties. Some of us become educated. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to practice and educate myself. So now we have a Hellbat push with our Banshee. We just skipped the third because there wasn't really anything going on there. I'm not sure why we're going into the main. We're kind of move commanding into the main. Maybe it's just so that we could take the ramp. But doing that, we lost the Banshee. And the Banshee didn't have to be lost. It could have been cloaked. We have cloak, right? Yeah, we still have cloak. Alright, so that was a minor mistake. Again, diamond. We probably could have done way more damage. Killed all the queens, all that stuff. Still have the Banshee up. Make him, make some detection while we're doing this. There's a lot of things that could have happened here, but it's okay. It's alright. Hey, we're only worried about the build. We still haven't taken our gases down here at the third. And we've stopped his natural from mining, and we're doing some damage to the Spire, but it's not gonna matter because he made like 8 mutas all at the same time. So we're gonna ignore that. We only added on 2 factories instead of all 4 factories. Again, we're in diamond, so things happen. We did build our engineering bay a little bit earlier now because we did see the Spire. So as soon as we saw the Spire, threw down the engineering bay, and we're gonna have to toss up a bunch of turrets. So that might be part of why we're not adding on all of our factories. I'm not inside of the mind of StaysMurkin. I'm just making some observations based off of this game. So we've got all of these going down. And while this is happening, there is a Cloak Banshee just kind of annoying him, which is going to buy us some time to be able to put up some turrets all around our bases, start making out some Thors, so that we don't just straight up die to the mutas that come in and kill us. And notice we're still not on the gas on these. So now we're finally going to get gas. It's around 7 minutes into the game, around 80 supply, but we've lost a lot of supply, so we can't even use supply. But we're going to get our next 2 gases as we're putting up these next 2 factories, which kind of makes sense. Although we have a lot of gas right now, so I think that a lot of it is just that we have so much gas that we're not really at gas deficit yet, because our gas income is able to support just 3 or 4 factories. But if we have 5 factories, we're probably going to want to have 6 gas. That kind of makes sense, one reactor, or one refinery per reactor. No, not reactor. Why do I keep calling why can't I call anything the right name? Anyway, so probably 1 refinery per tech lab seems almost right. Yeah, somewhere close to that. Get the ratio close. Doesn't have to be perfect. Doesn't have to be perfect. Just a thing, man. Just a thing. So now we have all of our gas, getting that big scary army up. He's got some mutas that are over here, but they can't really do a lot of damage just because we have turrets kind of like scattered through everywhere. And then with our army, we have a Thor. So yeah, at this point, now we just build up our big scary army, getting high-sec auto-tracking on the engineering base, kind of cute. That way, it makes the mutas a little bit less of a problem. Then we can add on our second armory a little bit delayed. Just part of the response to making mutas is that that we are a little bit delayed here. So we'll speed up a little bit. Because now we have a big scary army, and we'll be able to start pushing around a little bit. The mutas are in here trying to do some damage. They found a weak spot. Just move away. Get ready to repair the turrets. Start putting up some more turrets. Would have been nice to repair this turret, but he is throwing away some mutas for it. 1 Thor coming over is good enough. Chases everybody away. Don't need to bring the whole army over. Just a Thor. Leave the rest of the army back by a turret. And now we're getting into that part of the game where we're going to start adding on bases and crushing our Zerg opponent. So now we have the big army. We have the other base coming up. Speed along here. The mutas are coming back in, blowing stuff up, targeting down the armories. Thor can't really do much about it. Not gonna run the whole army over there. Just gonna lose it. Get ready for the push. Now that the turrets are up, we should see another push. We do have our 4th going down. This time it's gonna be a planetary fortress with some turrets, and the push is going out now. Now we're pushing with 4 Thors, 5 Thors, a bunch of tanks, Hellbats. This is a big scary army, especially if the Zerg is mostly on mutas. They did try to get their 3rd base up. They're doing something cute with these swarm hosts where they're kind of harrying the army that's moving in. But we're just gonna see a little bit of a siege up. I think the Hellbats are a little bit out of position there, but it's okay. It's fine. You know what? Just ignore him and go in and kill him. It's all over. The mutas are gonna take out our 4th. It's not the end of the world. Not the end of the world, because this army is gonna take out everything that you've ever loved while that's happening. And a lot of this is again made possible by the early damage that was done, doing a lot of damage in the natural area, forcing them off of bases, keeping them on 2 or 3 bases throughout the game. This guy never really got up to 4 bases. He did add on this 4th, but it's really only a gas base. It's not adding on a lot of minerals. Not adding on a lot of production. And just getting raffle stomped. Lots and lots of Banelings crashing into Thors. Thors are pretty good at absorbing Baneling hits. Look at all those Banelings that it took to take down Thor. And that was already an injured Thor. Tanks moving up. The tanks were also a little bit out of position for this fight. During that fight, they were on the low ground. So, I mean, it just kind of shows the power of this Terran army. There are some mutas still alive, but I mean, there's Thors up here. What are you gonna do? Crash in with the mutas, lose everything? I mean, I think that's probably the idea. You know. All right. So you killed some Thors. What's next? Oh yeah, there's like still a million Thors. I mean, it's not gonna work out for you, Mr. Zerg. It's all over. It's all over. So the Zerg's actually gonna tap out before there's another engagement because all they have is swarm hosts and mutas, and it's just pretty miserable. Mutas fly away because they know it's all over. All right, so we'll move into game 3 after this. All right, guys, game 3. Okay, so we're gonna do that thing again where we make a depot. Pretty standard stuff, right? Make a depot, make a barracks, speed it up. Come on, make that barracks. Yeah, make a barracks. Okay, then we're gonna get our gas, and then we can gas, right? Right? What's happening? What's happening? There's the expansion. Yeah. Get that. Get a Reaper. Got all this stuff going. Got the gas going. Everything's good. Everything's solid. Everything's the way that we want it to be. Gonna continue that wall off. We're gonna go scouting around. Got a Reaper out here to do some scouting. This time we're not gonna catch it on the first try. We're gonna find him cross map instead of just above us. So we've got our gases going, we've got all of that stuff. The Reaper's gonna be done. And factory. Time for the factory. So we've got all of our gas, everything's good, everything's Gucci. Gucci goo. Gucci. Oh, that's such a stupid saying. Anyway. Sounds like some corporate nonsense. So both Reapers are scouting. This Reaper's gonna find the base. This Reaper is gonna get that information and come back up here. Although, oof, lots of damage on the Reaper. Lots of damage. Oh no. Good thing the Reapers can heal themselves. So, got that reactor going. Got the factory going. Don't have the gases yet. Still no gases. Remember, we're not getting the gases yet. We're not just as soon as we expand, take all the gases. We gotta wait. Gotta get this stuff going. We've got our command center going up and our starport. Moving some workers to the low ground because you know that's where all the action's gonna be happening. Now the barracks is gonna build the tech lab. Still no gases. Still no gases. Getting all that stuff done. So Reapers are still just hanging out, not doing anything, just holding this tower. That way they'll know as soon as the Zerg comes this way, like, hey, I'm gonna put all these roaches in your base and in your face. Then we can start to plan around that. We've got our Hellions moving out. So now we have our tech lab on the Banshee. Where is your armory? Why aren't you building the armory? There we go. There's the armory going down. Like I said, armory goes hand in hand with the Banshee. Armory Banshee, armory Banshee, armory Banshee. Gotta associate those two because we want to make Hellbats and Banshees and an attack together. So we want to make sure those two things, because they line up, because this is 43 seconds, because this is 46 seconds, we want those to be close together so that happens. We can build the Banshee a little bit ahead of time because the Banshee's got to fly. It's going to be 43 seconds plus flight time. It's got to fly to wherever the army is. So it's okay to have the army a little bit behind. Still no gases. We're going to take those. We're going to take those in a minute. It's going to be okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to be a-okay. Still building all the little Hellions, all the little fun guys. We're gonna go out here, gonna get a little bit closer to his base. We're gonna check for a third over here. We don't see a third over here. So it looks like we're just gonna go push the natural. Uh-oh, here comes an attack. Ah, the Banshee's here just in time. So now it's scary. Now we got a big scary army, although we didn't bring the whole army. We gotta bring the whole army. So now we're going to push up. While this is happening, we should be getting our gases, I think. We're not getting our gases. So we're going to be a little bit behind. But while this is happening, while we're pushing up, we want to make those factories. So first 2 factories go down during the push. We cloaked, although he has an overseer. This is a minor problem. But yeah, the gases should be happening with these factories coming up. They haven't yet. So we're going to be a little bit gas starved. We're going to notice that through the build. But anyway, so there's roaches, and we're pushing them off of the minerals. The Hellions are better at killing workers when they're alive. Just saying. But they're better at killing workers than the Banshee is, because they can kill a bunch of them at the same time. Anyway, we're still getting Hellions and Banshees and stuff back at home. Finally getting the gases. I think a lot of that was just microing this thing that was happening. This Banshee's doing a pretty good job of killing workers, though. It's getting a lot of kills, doing a lot of work, doing all this stuff. He's gonna have to do that. If you're gonna leave your Banshee alone, if you can park your Banshee over his hatchery, like here, or over one of his extractors, if he's only using Ravagers to do this, when they do that, they'll actually do 60 damage to anything that they hit. So these have 500, but I mean it'll do some damage. It's not nothing. And these have way more than 60. But if they're taking the time to do 3 or 4 or 5 of those, sometimes they'll overkill it, and those all add up. Just saying, man. Just little positioning things. Stuff and things, man. Stuff and things. All right, so now we're a little bit gas starved, so we're not able to add on those factories yet, and that's partially because we didn't get our gas here. And we'll get these gas as we start to build those second factories, I think. Now, one of the things that Merkin's doing here. I have Merkin on the wrong name. Oops, a daisy. We'll just slide that over here. He was on the other side for the other 2 videos. All right, whatever. Hey, we're like 7 minutes into this game. We're just gonna be quiet about that mistake. Now, the Zerg's gonna do a lot of damage to us. This is something we haven't seen by other Zergs. Is them doing a ton of damage. We're not gonna panic. We're just gonna pick up. We're gonna fight him. We're gonna do what we can. We've got tanks over here on the ramp. The damage is gonna continue. But it's okay, because look, now we have workers in the way. There's some Thors. We're just gonna fight them off. We're gonna do what we can. Just a lot of damage control. All right, now we're gonna get back into it. We've got another factory up, but still a little gas starved. Now we're not even getting gas at either of these places. Kind of sad times. So now we're gonna have to rebuild everything. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be a-okay. All right, so we've put our base back together. We've gotten the gas here. We killed that overlord. We should be getting gas here, I think. That should be happening. Come on. Anyway, so now we have this Thor Hellion tank army. Even though some bad stuff happened, still have Thor's tanks, Hellions, Banshees. Still just one Banshee, because we're not still making Banshees. Now we're moving into Liberators. It's the end game, so get some Liberators up. That way, if he starts making Ultralisks, we can not die to Ultralisks. Because Thor's doing an okay job against Ultralisks, but Liberators plus Thor do an amazing job. Now it's another big army, big engagement. Trading. But we still have an army back at home. We're still doing that. Finally got the gas up, by the way, just a moment ago. So just make sure you're getting your gas. It's really hard after like a big nonsense thing that happens. Again, we've got some tanks. We got the Hellbats to zone them out. They're running away, going into our natural, making bad things happen. And also, don't forget your upgrades. You know, the armories were important, but, you know, make sure that you're still getting upgrades out of them. Now the opponent's on the run, kept losing armies, kept throwing them into tanks, and this is going to happen to you. They're just going to throw their armies right into tanks and stuff, and you're going to be able to just go rock them, go beat them, go smash them in their stupid faces. How dare you play Zerg? Apologize for that race. There you go. That's that. So, I don't know. I don't think that I did a great job, but, you know, if you have any constructive criticism for me, just go ahead and throw that into the comments below. Yeah, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Check out my Twitch channel. It's way better than this. I don't do this stuff. This is all canned content. I like to just talk about my games, rage out about the things that are bothering me. You know, like when they make ultras and you're on bio and it's just like rawr. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed these videos, or this video, these replays, stuff, things. Yeah, have a good day.